This is Immigrants Making an Impact, the podcast. Today we are so excited to have Lizzette Arias on the call, and we would love her to share her immigrant experiences with us and what inspires her to do what she does when it comes to work and life in general. Lizzette, welcome.
Thanks so much for having me here. I'm excited to share more about my immigrant experience today.
Wonderful. So tell me about it. What experience do you have with immigration, immigrants? Are you an immigrant yourself?
Yes, so I am an immigrant from Bolivia to the United States. I have a unique story because I immigrated when I was very young. I was 4 months old, but my parents are, born and raised in Bolivia. They come to the United States with a baby, me. And so I grew up here with immigrant parents. They only spoke Spanish. So my first language is actually Spanish. When I was growing up, my parents were scared because they didn't have the proper documentation for the US to be in the US. So they were considered undocumented, and so was I. So I grew up undocumented. They were scared to send me to school. So I didn't get to go to school until about third grade. When I entered the US school system. And that's where I learned English, and I started to learn to make friends. And, that opened up the whole world for me for the US, because before then I had been very much stay at home with my parents and sister, and it's a very, very small, closed world. And they didn't make a lot of friends while they were here. So it was just the four of us. So that was the start of my immigrant experience. And as I went through school, there were always differences between me coming from an immigrant family and other students that parents were born here and raised here. But I grew up, I graduated from high school and then college in the US, and my immigrant background always influenced those trajectories, I guess, journeys, going through high school, going through college. Yeah, that's the background.
Awesome. And so talking about your journey, your experiences, I realized that you have a unique experience. So you came here not realizing that you moved countries at 4 months old. And through that, you have gone through many experiences. Could you tell us how these experiences as an immigrant child, how has it shaped your life positively, negatively? Let us know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the first positive I can name is that I am bilingual.
Hmm.
So I know Spanish fluently and I know English fluently. I believe that has helped me be really creative and good at problem solving, and also writing and some of my work, because I can believe I think in two languages at the same time, and it helps create better things.
Hmm.
It also explain better things because I know how it is to not understand the language. So I think from that perspective frequently, and I think that has positively impacted my life and work. Negatively, I think I've always felt like as I was growing up, I always felt like I was different because I was different. And that has always been kind of something that has stopped me from doing everything I want to do. And always kind of that self-doubt is always there. And I think that's the negative side of growing up as an immigrant, because traditionally immigrants are treated less than and not as, I guess, integrated and always left to a side. So that impacted me and how I view myself and approach things. So that's kind of a negative that has outcome of being an immigrant. But overall, I think it's been positive. The other great positive I really want to name is that I can connect with other immigrants very quickly, because we have that shared experience of being an immigrant in a new place and with new cultures. So I am able to make friends with others very fast in that have that shared experience. And it has allowed me to be also very vocal about immigrant rights and, advocate for fair treatment of immigrants and better policies to help immigrant families and to advocate for immigrant families just to have more resources. So it's been a positive in that way because I feel empowered by it.
Wonderful. So, having read your LinkedIn, you talk about being an immigrant advocate. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so this is an exciting part of my life, I would say. I graduated from college in 2011. I was undocumented at that point, and I didn't know how to use the degree I had just received. I was a history major, and sociology. But I had this great degree, a lot of skills that I wanted to put to use, but no job would hire me because I didn't have a work permit. I mean, a work, or, like an office job, a white collar job. So what I did was I got together with other people that had been talking about the issue of undocumented students in the U.S. going to college. So they had already kind of started an organization called the Dream Project, and that's where I poured my heart and skills into building up that organization. Um, and what that organization does is provide scholarships, mentoring, support to undocumented students in Virginia that want to go to college
Mm.
and achieve their dreams. That's why it's called Dream Project. And so from that point, I started to be an advocate for immigrants, um, not only in raising funds for the scholarship and the programs, but also going to lobby Congress at the state level and at the federal level for better policies to help these students. Because, like me, a lot of them are in the US, came to the US at a very young age. Some of them didn't even know they were undocumented until they started to look at schools to go to. That is really, a shared experience that empowered me to speak up and on behalf of them since I was a little older and had, the time and the energy to do it. And yes, so that's why I consider myself an immigrant advocate. Since then, I've also done other advocacy on behalf of immigrant families, like doing marches. I did a walk one time, 4 days from one city to another in Virginia.
Wow.
And yeah, just to raise awareness and bring more people to realize that immigrants are here in the US and make the community better, not to take away from it.
Absolutely. We are here to make the community better and not to take away from it. If there's any immigrant girl, lady, child listening today and they are undocumented and they don't know what to do, they don't see the light, what would you tell them?
Uh, it's it's definitely hard and I understand. I often was in that place growing up. So I found out I was undocumented in high school. I went through high school and college with that, knowing that, and it's incredibly difficult to keep up with everything like schoolwork, friendships, everything, knowing that your dream may never come true because of your status. But there are ways. And what helped me and what can help you is finding people that are willing to help you and risking things so that they can lend you a hand. And you have to try to find those people because they're out there. We're out here and I'm here for them if they just need to talk or if they need ideas of how to start finding a path of their own. Um, it's possible. Like there are workarounds for making your dream come true, regardless of what it is. And you just have to stay positive and know that something somewhere along the line is going to go well for you and help you get there.
Amazing stuff. And Lisa, thank you for the work that you do. So if there's anybody who wants to reach out, is that possible?
Yes, so my LinkedIn is the best way to reach me and contact me through message there.
Wonderful. So, guys, you heard it all. You are not alone if you are going through immigration challenges. We are here to support and just reach out. You never know that there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, yes, definitely. It's hard to believe it sometimes, but it's there and you just gotta keep your sight on the positives.
Mm, great. Lisa, so why is it important to have conversations like this about immigrant experiences and also in general the narrative about immigration across the globe?
Well, it's important especially now because there is such a hateful rhetoric around immigrants everywhere in the world, which is really hurtful, not just for the immigrants currently, but also for future patterns of immigration. And I see that immigrants communities are feeling especially isolated, targeted. So sharing our stories and sharing our experiences, talking about what we face as immigrants is important so that we don't feel so alone, and also so that future generations know how these policies, talks, and I guess trend of hating immigrants affects people realistically. Um, so that's why it's important to create these podcasts and uplift these stories because they're important and they need to be known for the future and for now. For now to give hope and for the future to give warning. You know, this how you speak about immigrants impacts real people and you need to know how it does it. Um, I also see that our stories help others realize like they're not alone. And I think that's the most important thing that we can do for sharing our stories is create that community and sense of belonging that is lacking in the immigrant experience because you are, very realistically a person plucked out of one land into another and you are alone, but you have to figure out how you are not and still connected and rooted in the immigrant shared experience.
Well said. Could you share with us some tips on how to overcome our daily challenges as immigrants?
Yes. So what I've picked up recently is meditation.
Hmm.
And that can be done whether you're, whatever religion you're on or however devout you are, but just taking time to breathe and check in with yourself and realize that, oh, okay, I am safe, I am breathing, and I have power over how I react to things is very important. I only recently discovered that. So I am very much a fan. But before that, like what I would do is I would get up and go run or go to the gym. I think staying active really helps your um, body feel good. So then you feel better, even when you're facing the toughest challenges you are going to face in life, and it keeps you positive. So staying active is also a great tip that I would suggest others take on. And third, I would say find other people that are like you, like either that are immigrants themselves or work with immigrants or that feel like they don't really belong or they're struggling through a similar type of challenge in life, and talk about it and share your experiences. Have someone that you can uh, troubleshoot and share your thinking and what you're thinking about and what you're worried about, so that it's not all you don't keep it stuck in your head. So share with someone and find a friend and stay connected with someone else because it's so important to just have that connection.
Thank you. They said, how can one make an impact? And before that, tell us about your impact, the impact that you are making in your community.
Yeah. So I hate bragging, but The impact I'm having is that I have helped through the Dream Project when I was working there and building it up. I have helped a lot of students figure out a way to go to college. And now those students are helping other students and creating careers of their own. Like I know one woman is now in medical school. A couple of them are in medical school. A few of them are, going on to law school and becoming lawyers that are helping other immigrants or helping other areas of our country that need help and making an impact of their own. So I think I've helped to create a ripple effect across my community here in Virginia and among the immigrants that have come through and I've helped. I also think the impact I'm having is that I started sharing my story, and I would like to think that that has motivated or inspired other immigrants to also share their story. Because sharing your story is vulnerable. It puts you in a vulnerable position, and it's hard. Like, oh, I don't want my dirty laundry out there, but it's important, and I think doing it helps others see that it is important and it's also not that scary and it's worthwhile.
Wonderful. And so building on that, what does it take to make an impact, or how can one make an impact?
I don't think it takes too much. I think it only takes a little motivation, a little like, oh, I'm going to do this one little thing and that will have an impact. Uh, for instance, when I first shared my story with a audience, I didn't think like I just said, oh, I also was undocumented and I just graduated college. That was like I had two lines in an award ceremony and people clapped. It was nice. But there was one student who was a junior at that time, and I had just graduated college, and she came up to me afterward and she said, well, I'm undocumented too, and I didn't even know I could go to college. And she was crying so much that she had just met someone that had achieved her dream. So, just and it was only two sentences. So it takes a little bravery, and then the impact will be made.
Hmm.
Bravery and good intention, I think.
It takes a little bravery and good intention. Well said. And they said, what would you do if you knew you could not fail?
I thought about this question. I think it goes back and forth between like I would go into politics and fix this myself. Like, let's just get it done. If I could
Then
not
that's
fail,
it.
that's what I would do.
Okay.
Yeah, I would, and I think generally I would start up something again and start up something that is worthwhile and that is really going to empower and impact people widely. So going into politics or starting a business that has a social justice cost to it as well.
We are here to support you, Lisette. I would say go ahead and do it. Our community is also here to support. So the world is your stage. Go get it.
Thank you.
And what is the most important thing you would do today to make tomorrow better?
Today, I would remain open to talking with other immigrants and other vulnerable people out there and listen to them and figure out how I can help. I think that's the thing we all need right now is to listen to each other and try and help each other. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm gonna remain open for business. Anyone that wants to talk, let me know. And I will try and listen and help.
Thank you so much. And what advice do you have for immigrants?
Um, Advice for immigrants is that to remain positive and try to see that light at the end of the tunnel. It's very difficult right now, but it can't be like that forever. And take stock or of what you have, what's going well, and be grateful for the things you have as much as you can, because that creates positivity that will help you go through the challenges we're facing and continue on. Um, don't work too hard. Immigrants love working hard, so hard, but also take time for you and they call it self-care, but like take time for you and take time to really enjoy yourself and your way of being and to refresh, right? Because you need to refresh too. So those are my two things.
Wow, this is so deep. I've had so many conversations, but I've never heard this before because I realized that as well, that immigrants work too hard. And that is really an irony that people keep saying, let's work hard, you have to work hard. But when it comes to immigrants, our form of working hard is way above. Yeah, it's great that you mentioned that we should, how did you put it, that we should stop working hard?
Don't work too hard.
Don't work too hard. Could you
Yeah.
elaborate on that for me?
Yeah, so immigrants work very hard all the time. I like my experience has been like I see my mom, I saw my dad just day in, day out, like, oh, I gotta go to work, I gotta go to work, I gotta go to my second job, I have this. Oh, weekend, no, I don't have a weekend. And I know others do it, like even in the so now I work in an office and I see the immigrant communities, people of the immigrant community working super hard, like around the clock or putting all of their energy into a project, but and never taking time to go on the vacation or step back and enjoy what you've been working hard for. So it's important because that's where you find you are you are achieving. Like that's when you can take time and be like, oh, I made it, I made that, or like, oh, all my hard work is paying off. And that's where you find um, joy and happiness and in those moments of relaxation. So that's why I don't think immigrants should work. They immigrants keep working hard, yes, but take time to relax too.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think it's very, very important. He said it's time to invite our community to support you. Are there any projects you are doing that you want us to know about?
Well, I mentioned the Dream Project in Virginia. If you Google that, you'll get the right one, which is an organization that creates that has scholarships for undocumented students in Virginia to, achieve their dreams. Um, I no longer work there, but since I helped start it, I would really, if anyone's interested in helping us with, we have, of course, we'll take money, but there are also volunteer opportunities for mentors and other ways you can help, whatever talent you have and can help the students or the organization are most welcome. So check it out. And yeah, follow me on LinkedIn. And I think those are the two main ways.
Amazing. And finally, please complete the sentence for us. Immigrants are?
Necessary.
Thank you so much, Lizzette, for coming on the call and sharing your experiences and most importantly, the impact that you are making in your community. I think it goes a long way to help many people and it has become a ripple effect. So it keeps growing and I would say keep going. We've got your back as a community and you light up the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.